This year, I've seen so many ants outside. They were in my garden. They were in places I wouldn't even expect them to grow, like my fire pit. They were marching up and down my plants and trees and still are. I'm like, geez, do the ants think I'm working hard outside so they can enjoy my yard more than I do? But anywho, have you ever watched an ant work? Ants are always moving, or at least they seem to always be on the go. And even though their work seems small, those tiny creatures are a big deal when it comes to getting things done. The Bible tells us to look at the ant and learn how to work. That's curious, right? Why is the Bible telling us to look at an ant and learn how to work? It's because the ant works with purpose. Listen to this. You can read along over in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 9. And this is the New Living Translation. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? Now that proverb doesn't mean stay busy, though it might initially sound like it, because sometimes being quote unquote busy is the distraction that keeps you from the work that really needs to be done. When this Bible verse says, take a lesson from the ants, look at the ants, or consider the ants, it means work in a way that sets you up for the future. Work with purpose, focus, and preparation. Now, we could stop the episode right here with that wisdom, but we won't because there's so much more to unpack. Hey there, dream chasers, budding creators, and rising entrepreneurs. It's me, Lola, and you are listening to the Smoke and Profit podcast, where I bring you inspiration that's actionable to build you up spiritually, creatively, and socially. Today is no different. This episode is all about why laziness is costly and productivity pays off. So here's what you can expect from this message. We're going to explore the difference between laziness and productivity, all from that scripture there in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11. And by the end of this episode, my hope is that you'll feel inspired to make small, practical changes that help you focus on what matters most. Also, throughout this episode, you'll be able to pick up on some tips for avoiding distractions and building habits that set you up for the future. Now, before we go any further, let's be super clear about what I mean when I say laziness. Laziness doesn't mean being tired, overwhelmed, fighting for your mental health, or living with some diagnosis like ADHD. That's a whole different ballgame, totally different. Laziness here means avoiding or ignoring the very things that will help you grow, succeed, and secure your future. Think about that proverb for a moment. The ant doesn't need someone to tell it what to do. It doesn't have a boss checking in, a teacher reminding it of deadlines, or a parent asking, hey, did you do your chore? The ant works because it knows what's important, preparing for tomorrow. Now imagine this, you being so driven and focused that no one has to remind you what to do. That's a powerful place to be. So that's what we can learn from the ant. And by the end of this episode, I hope you'll have that drive and focus in you too. Since we're on the subject of laziness, I want to go ahead and dive into a clear contrast between laziness and productivity. Now remember, being productive isn't just about staying busy. It's working with a plan. That's the real change maker and game changer. Because when you work with purpose and direction, everything shifts. So what does laziness look like? Laziness looks like a few things. And they could be avoiding the things that matter for your future, waiting for someone to push you to get started instead of you taking the initiative on your own, or constantly needing to be pushed to get things done that are important. It can also look like someone constantly putting off what needs to be done. On the flip side, let's look at what productivity looks like. Productivity is doing the work that prepares you for tomorrow. It's getting things done without needing to be told or needing someone to hold your hand along each and every step of the way. Productivity is about focusing on the bigger picture and making progress every day. And I'll say it again, working with a plan is the game changer. So what happens when people choose laziness over productivity? I'll tell you next. Laziness costs you the life you want. It costs you the life you could have had. And Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11 gives a crystal clear warning about it. Let me read it to you in the New Living Translation. Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, They labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? Here's the warning. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. Let's zero in on verses 10 through 11. The verse is clear. It says poverty will come like a thief. It sneaks up on you when you least expect it, meaning sleeping, resting, and not working in your season of opportunity makes room for poverty. Now, I know poverty sounds like a heavy word, and it might feel distant or unrelated to your life. I pray that poverty never touches you or your family. But let me be clear, poverty isn't just about money. Poverty can sneak in many ways and many forms, including as missed opportunities, a lack of growth, or how about someone that makes a good living but they still feel like they never have enough or never seem to have enough. Poverty can even sneak in as you feeling stuck in life. And here's the thing, often people don't notice it at first. So they keep sleeping, resting, and putting things off, unaware that neglecting important work is quietly setting them up for struggle later. Think about it. The ant works in summer so that it has what it needs in another season. It's not sleeping, it's not resting, it's not putting things off, it's not putting off an important work. When we don't work like the ant, when we don't work with purpose, when we don't work with focus, when we don't work with a plan, and we're just out living life, sometimes we don't see that too much fun, too much of putting things off, and too little progress can make success slip right through our fingers. And then, just like that, poverty pounces like a thief. Suddenly, people fall behind, and sometimes they never catch up. Have you ever seen someone with so much potential? Like you just knew this person was going to be wildly successful in life, but suddenly they just seem to fall behind and they're not able to bounce back? That sounds like poverty in action. But that doesn't have to be you. That doesn't have to be me either, because we will work, we'll make daily progress, and our success and security won't slip away. To wrap this section up, remember, if we don't take care of business now, it will catch up with us later. Poverty, whether financial, emotional, or something else, will try to sneak up on you. And you know what else can sneak up on you when you're not taking care of business? A micromanager. Because laziness attracts micromanagement. Ever feel like your boss, teacher, or parent is always on your case? Well, when you're not being responsible, they feel like they have to stay on top of you. So if you're not handling things, they can't trust you to get the work done. Yeah, if you're a little lazy, they've got to keep a closer eye on you. So what happens? You guessed it. They step in and manage your every move. Take a classroom, for example. Have you noticed that the students who don't listen to their teachers much or do their work seem to get more of the teacher's time and attention? That's no accident. I've seen the same thing happen at work. But here's a key point to know. Micromanagement isn't about punishment. It's a reaction. Let me say that again. Micromanagement isn't about punishment. It's a reaction. And sometimes that reaction is triggered by laziness. When you're not doing what you need to do, your boss, teacher, or parent feels the need to put pressure on you, pressure to guide you step by step because they can't count on you to handle things on your own. But guess what? When you're productive, like the ant, when you're working in purpose and with focus and with a plan, leaders don't necessarily feel the need to constantly check in on you. They don't have to. And here's why. They can trust you to manage your work. They can trust you to manage your responsibilities. They can trust you to manage your day and your week. So if you want more space and less micromanagement, the answer is simple. Don't be lazy. Be like the ant. Be productive. Work with a plan. Work with a focus. Work with purpose. And there's more good news. When you're productive, something else happens. Your boss, teacher, or coach can give you the good stuff. That means that productivity unlocks opportunity. I'm talking about the advice, skills, and knowledge you need to help you grow faster. Think about basketball. If you can't dribble a ball, your coach isn't going to try to teach you advanced moves like a crossover, because you first need to learn and master the basics, and that's how to handle the ball. But once you've got that down, once you know how to master the basics, Your coach can show you the next big thing. I've seen the same thing happen at work in a training class. The trainer starts with the basics, then they move on to the advanced stuff. It's the same way in life too. The more productive you are, the more your leaders can help you learn and grow. And they'll give you the keys to success because they know you're ready to use them. That's why I say productivity unlocks opportunity. Now, becoming productive doesn't have to feel overwhelming. I found that productivity really comes down to two key things. The first thing is knowing what's important, and the second thing is learning to say no. One book I highly recommend to help you with your productivity is The Joy of Missing Out. Live More by Doing Less by Tanya Dalton. This book helped me prioritize what really matters, and it helped me become more confident in saying no. I'll put a link to that book in today's episode description. Another tip is set a weekly goal, one thing you want to accomplish, then work on it little by little. Remember, progress happens over time, not overnight. And please don't beat yourself up if you miss the mark. Stop being soft with everyone but yourself. A few missteps and mistakes belong in your journey. The real problem is when the slip-ups become part of your everyday routine and turn into habits. Am I making sense? I hope so. Now, our time together is coming to a close, which means I need to pull this whole message together. In today's world, the possibilities are endless. You know that. You can do almost anything, but distractions, they're everywhere. Social media, entertainment, and constant notifications are all pulling us away from the things that really matter. It's easy to spend hours scrolling, binge watching, and I love a good binge watch, or putting things off until later, until you look up and you realize that you didn't get the work done that you needed to secure your future. That's why you've got to remember the lesson of the ant. The ant has a goal to prepare for tomorrow, and it does its work to get that done. It doesn't get sidetracked by what's trending or by whatever feels easier at the moment. And guess what? If we take that same approach and focus on what truly matters, we can avoid falling into the trap of distractions, laziness, or even busyness that doesn't make a real difference in our lives. All these things might seem small, but the cost of letting them control your life is far bigger than you think. Because laziness, busyness, and distractions all lead to stress, struggles, and working twice as hard to catch up later. That means when you put off what's important, success and security start slipping away, and boom, suddenly you're facing challenges that could have been avoided. And just like the Bible says, poverty is waiting to sneak up. Now, does this mean that you can never have fun? Does this mean that you don't need to relax? No, I think that there's such a thing as being productively lazy. I think that there are moments where you need to rest and allow yourself to be restored and refreshed. I think that can help you with your creativity. It can help your mindset. It can help you to be more positive. It can also help you deal with very challenging, stressful situations. So yeah, I'm not telling you that you need to work all the time. And that's not even what the proverb is showing you in Proverbs chapter 6. What I'm telling you is intentionally work with purpose. Work with focus, work with a plan, because if you don't, you may wake up one day and wonder, how did I get in this? And yeah, you can get out of, but the climb out will just be really tough. And nobody wants to do that. So let's consider the ant and start working for tomorrow today. Okay, I'm Lola with the Smoke and Profit Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check out today's episode description. I'm going to put some resources there for you. Until next time, have the most amazing life. Bye.
Spiritually, creatively, socially. Spiritually, creatively, socially. Do life, do it better, do it better. Do life, do it better, do it better. The Smoke and Profit will inspire and equip you. The Smoke and Profit takes your skills and gifts and mold you. Do life, do it better, do it better.